Hello and welcome back. In this episode of the Menagerie series, we will be working with Applied Energistics. Right now, I'm standing in an animal pen that I have built off to the side of where my steam boiler is. I've been having some issues with my animals not staying where I expected them to stay. I had them over in that area and just built a simple little pen for them. But when I came back, they were gone, and I had no idea as to why that might have happened. So I constructed something within the hill, so I could put them in and kind of control them. As you can see, I have two of my cows on leads attached to a fence post, and I have bred them a couple of times, hence the two baby cows. And I've done the same thing with these sheep. I have two sheep attached to leads on this side, and I bred them once, so I have one baby sheep there. After I built this and I attached these animals, I went exploring, and when I came back, the leads had been broken off. So I decided to build a chunk loader, which is right here, to see if that would help with that particular situation. I did read in some of the error logs for Minecraft that the leads did have a chance of breaking off in this version. So, simple little chunk loader. Had a pretty large radius on it, and basically this area that's being encirculated by the red lasers is the chunk loaded area, which will remain loaded at all times. And that might also help because it also includes my steam boilers and such over here. I have redesigned this a little bit. My water tank is down here. It's already full, of course, but it's constantly pumping the water out and pumping into my steam boiler. I have decided that I will expand the steam boiler to a 3x3 at some point. Just haven't gotten to it. And I'm using gold fluid pipes to transport the steam to banks of steam engines. And each golden fluid pipe seems to be able to handle two commercial steam engines. So I've got two there, and two there. These two are currently off. The reason that they are off is because I also built this steam oven. The steam oven was unfortunately made out of steel, so I did use some of my precious manganese to make this steel. The cooking time on it, it does run completely off of steam and no energy. The cooking time on it takes a while. You see it takes the amount of time it takes for this to go up here. So it does take quite a bit of time. However, where its benefit is that it will cook each of these 9 slots on each cycle through. So when you have a large quantity of things to cook, it actually is very quick to do that, because even though this is slower than the time it would take to cook one item in a regular furnace, you're cooking 9 items at a time, which is, as I said, very nice. So I've thrown some of my spruce wood in there. You can see previously I've cooked up some stone. And I'm not taking that out just yet because I don't really have a place to put it. But I'll take out this charcoal and refill my steam boiler like such. Like that. Okay. So, as I said, we're going to get started with Applied Energistics. So let's go upstairs. And I was watching the past couple of videos I did, and I realized that watching me craft things, as far as, putting items into a crafting table and all that kind of stuff, was really fairly dull. So I'm not going to bother with showing how items are crafted anymore. I think that if you need to know how something is specifically crafted, you can look in NEI, which will show you the crafting recipe for something, or you can watch a spotlight video that other people may have done. I've built a little cactus farm here, by the way. You can watch a spotlight video that other people have done for that particular mod, and that will be much more useful as far as that goes. I'm not going to bother with showing all of that, and especially, see, I am running out of storage space here. So, especially when it comes to the Applied Energistics stuff, I've already made all of these items. So, as an example, this 4K storage disk, this is how it's made: iron, glass, and redstone in a storage segment. The storage segment is made from redstone, glass, storage cells, and an ME basic processor. Storage cells are made from Certus quartz, redstone, and another basic processor. Basic processor is an assembly cooked, and then that is made with a quartz cutting knife, silicon, gold ingot. Silicon is made by cooking. Anyway, the process is, there's a lot to it, and so watching somebody do all of that just doesn't strike me as being all that entertaining. So I'm not going to, as I said, I'm not going to bother with showing all of that to you. I made the items previously, so they're all ready to go. I'm just going to empty out the stuff that I had in here from when I was working on building that animal pen. And I'm going to take all of these items out, and we will, instead of showing you how they're crafted, which, as I said, is probably fairly dull, I'm just going to show you how I use the items, how I set things up, so that I can make things work the way that I want them to work, I guess. So let's go downstairs and get working on this. Now, Applied Energistics, I think the idea behind it is you have these devices, and you see they all start with ME, which stands for matter energy, and the idea is that it turns items into sort of an energy, just turns them into energy, I guess, and by turning them into energy, you can then store them electronically and retrieve them electronically as well. So not sure that there's a whole sense of realism there, but it does make for some nice abilities to do with Applied Energistics. So this is our tree farm, and as you can see, I am chock full of wood and saplings and some sand. I didn't mention this with the farm, but as the dirt blocks get turned into like a farmland, and that's what the trees are planted on up there, and over time each one of those has a chance to I guess degrade into sand, and so you end up with sand that way. So anyway, let's get started. So this is the system that I'm going to use. It's not necessarily the system you have to use, but I feel like it works easily for me. I'm just trying to picture where everything's going to go because I didn't leave myself a lot of room, apparently. Okay. So the first thing that you generally are going to have is what's called an ME controller. And I'm just going to plunk that down right here. Now, the ME controller is what everything in your Applied Energistics system has to be hooked up to. And it is what supplies power to all of the devices that you have hooked up to your Applied Energistics system. So you can see that right now, just having this controller is going to use 1.2 Minecraft joules per tick. And it's currently storing 2,000 Minecraft joules. Now, each one of these steam engines here is producing 4 Minecraft joules per tick. So I should be okay as far as that goes. Now, when you attach items to the system, let's attach this cable, for example, it will show you what you have hooked up to the system. And then as you attach various devices, they will all use more and more energy. So the bigger the system you have, the more energy you will need to run it. Now, the next part that I use is an ME drive. And we will just plunk that down, say, As I said, I don't really have enough room to do everything here. I think I'm going to clear some of the... I'll clear this out and I'll come back. Okay, so I've cleaned out some area back behind here. They give me a little bit of room to work with. So next thing like I said, I'll include is this ME drive. Now, if you touch things next to each other, then they are considered connected. So as you can see, this ME drive is now in the network because it's connected to the controller. I can also connect them with these ME cables, so they don't have to be next to each other. But being next to each other will save me on some of these cables. And now you can see my energy usage has gone up because this drive takes some amount of power. Now, the way the drive works is it stores these disks. And these are right here. And I made 3 of these ME 4K storage. And each one of these holds the energy for the items that are put into it. So as you can see, each one of these can hold 4,096 bytes and 63 different types of items. And when I put them in, you can see they light up here very nicely. Nice little graphical. It's pretty cool. I like the way it looks. Just like so. Now, the next thing I usually put in is this access terminal. And the access terminal, and again, if we look here, now we're using 2.4, and then you can see we got a drive and a terminal. So this controller, again, will tell us how much power we need and what is in the system. But this access terminal is what allows me to access the items in the Applied Energistics system. So for example, let's go back over here to our tree farm. Let's take out this stuff that's down here, like so. Now I can go back and clicking on this, I can put these items in. And as you see, when I put them in there, I'm just going to put all this stuff in there. There's no longer a 64 stacking limit like there are here. It just shows you the quantity of those items that are in there. Now, and then I can use this to search. So if I just want coal, I can search for it. Obviously, not all that necessary when this is all there is, but when it's full, it will become more obvious at searching for things. And then I can take stuff out of here. I can take 64 of these at a time. I can put them back in. I can take out half. I can do whatever I want to take things in and out of my Applied Energistics system. If I go back over here to my storage disks, you'll see that these two aren't being used. I believe it does start the storage from the top and go down. But you can see I'm using 298 of the available storage, and I have 7 different types of items. If you look, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different types of items. So that's how that works. Now, the next thing to do is to run cabling to the various places where I want inventory to come from and to go to. So, for example, I need to take the stuff out of here. And the way I'm going to do that is with an import bus. Now, importing is when something goes from someplace else to the Applied Energistics system. So I am going to run it like this. And oops, I went too far. I really hope I'm going to have enough cabling because it's possible that I won't. And once again, I've put myself into a hole that I can't get to the equipment. Anyway, go back over here. So now, ooh, there's more Certus quartz there. I need that. I'll take you. Thank you. Okay, so now, as I said, here's all the stuff that I have. I'm going to take all this stuff out of here real quick. So there's nothing in my system at all. So if I go over to this import bus, now the stuff that's generated that comes out of the farm are the spruce woods, the saplings, and the sand. Okay, so if I go to this import precision, oh, I see what I did. I hooked up the precision import to the wrong place. I hooked it up to the power. I was wondering why something wasn't working. Okay, hook it up to the hatch like it's supposed to be and run the cabling. And you'll see this flashes of light that happen. And that's because it's doing stuff. You see, it's taking the saplings out. And if we run back over to our system here, oops, wrong one. oops, go back to the access terminal, sorry, and you can see there, see it's filling up our Applied Energistics system with what it's taking out of there. Okay, again, tells me everything I need to know in the controller. And that's basically all there is to setting up an Applied Energistics system. It's now taking everything out of here that I need. And again, I go look in the access terminal and see what's going on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my iron furnace and I'm going to clear out a little more space for myself here for right now. This is all going to have to be cleaned up, I already know. But I'm going to take this furnace and I'm going to put it right here for now. And what I want to do with the furnace is I want to put charcoal in the bottom to cook the wood into charcoal. So charcoal is going to go in here, wood's going to go in here, and then I get more charcoal out here. So to take things out of the Applied Energistics system, we use an export bus. And so that will go, oops, I put that in the wrong, I face it the wrong way. Fortunately, I need to get underneath it. And where's my export? Export. Oh, keep hitting the wrong button like so. Keep hitting the wrong button like so. There we go. And the export tells it what to put there. So again, this is what I'm cooking with, and it's going to be charcoal. I just need to put one sample of charcoal like that. And again, then on the top, I put the other export bus, and this will take out of our system spruce wood like so. Now I just need to wire all of that up to my system like so. And so now what happens is spruce wood is being exported and put into here, and then charcoal will get exported and put into here. Now I don't have any charcoal in the system yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put some in, and you can see it's already coming out of there. And there you go. It's already being put in here, and it's being turned into more charcoal. Good. So now I just need another import to take the things from here and put them back in the system. So as it cooks up charcoal, it takes it out. And now what's happening is this can store 64 pieces of charcoal. So each time one of these is being cooked, it's being placed into here. Now each one of these charcoals will burn 8 pieces of wood and make 8 pieces of charcoal. So this will eventually become full and will maintain itself at a full level. And that's what we want, because the next thing we need to do is run more cabling up to our steam boiler, and that's how we will feed that charcoal into the steam boiler. Now, having said that, I realize that I am going to need yet another export bus, so I'm going to go make that, and I'll be right back. You're not supposed to be here. You are supposed to be over here. Oh. I knew I shouldn't have built my animal pen next to my steam boiler room. Okay, I will have to deal with you guys later. Can't just stay in your own room, can you? Don't look at me like that. Alright. Okay, I have built another export bus, and I just need to find a place to put it. So for now, I think it's going to go right here, if I can make this work. So I take my export bus and stick it there. And then I just need to run, again, just need to run some cabling to connect it to the system. So let me come over here, put that there, and go back over here. See if I can make this work somehow. That cow is going to be trapped behind there. I already know that's going to be fun to deal with. Okay, so now I am stuck again. Alright, again, I'll have to clean this up later. For now, I just wanted to show you guys how it works. And the other nice thing about this Applied Energistics system is I don't have to connect everything to one, central source. As long as it's connected somewhere within the system, it will be considered connected. So all I need now is to go to the access terminal and get out a piece of charcoal, like so. Oops. Sorry, I keep hitting letters. I keep hitting the E button to get out of the inventory. That's not how that works. And in this export bus here, I'm going to tell it coal, so it knows to put coal into the steam boiler. So now if we come out here and look at the steam boiler, yep, so we can see that it is taking the coal from our Applied Energistics system and shoving it into the steam boiler. Just like that. And it will keep it filled up, which is exactly what we wanted it to do. And if we go down here and look at our controller, you can see this is all of the items that we have: 32 cables, 3 exports, 2 imports, the drive, and the access terminal. We're using 3.8 Minecraft joules per tick, and we currently have 2,000 or so stored. 3.8 Minecraft joules per tick is great because each one of these steam engines provides us with 4. So one steam engine is powering it, and I would have 5 more for power for doing other things. And so I will need to now make one more export bus, and I actually have to turn, I just need one more export bus, I think, and then I will hook that up to the farm hatch on this side. And what that would allow me to do is to put dirt and saplings back into the farm when it needs it. Now, it shouldn't ever need more saplings, because as it harvests the wood, it should automatically be turning keeping any extra saplings. But I'll put that just in case, and then I'll also supply it with dirt. It doesn't really go through, and fertilizer. It doesn't really go through a whole lot of dirt, but I will have that in there just in case. And so now what we've done with this Applied Energistics system is we've set up a system whereby all of the wood will come out of there, and any wood will then go into this furnace, which will get turned into charcoal. Charcoal will go into the furnace as well to keep it nicely supplied, but the excess charcoal will then get fed up to our steam boiler, which will keep it full and running, and therefore we don't have to do any additional work. Now, when I expand my steam boiler to a bigger size, the only thing that might happen is I may need to have 2 furnaces. Not entirely sure. I might not. I might need that, and I might not. I don't really know yet, but I'll worry about that at the time that, when it comes around. But that's it. That's our Applied Energistics system supplying us with our coal, our charcoal, I should say. And so now we have our basic power supply has been set up. Tree farm, growing the trees, harvesting the wood, sending the wood to the furnace. The furnace will cook it into charcoal and then send it to our steam boiler, which will burn it in and create the steam from the water from our pump that goes into our water tank and then over there. And then that supplies us with our power. So finally, our power system is set up. As I said, I'm going to expand it and make a bigger steam boiler and stuff like that. But that's the basics of it. There you can see our tree farm harvesting away, cutting down lots and lots of wood. So we have everything is set up and automated as far as that goes, which is great, which means that our infrastructure for our power supply is set and we can start working on doing some other stuff. So the next thing we'll do is build a quarry, and we'll be able to put our quarry somewhere, and then that will start giving us all the necessary ores, minerals, metals, and other things that we need automatically out of the ground. We'll do that next time. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will find a way to make our cows and sheep stay where they're supposed to stay. Maybe. I don't know. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'll see you next time.